Welcome back to another episode of Mons Overland Adventures. Today we set out from Dargo looking to make our way northeast towards Omeo. We headed north along the upper Dargo road and came across a park ranger that let us know that the bridge across the Dargo river was closed for maintenance. She did mention that there was a way to cross the river further up at Birregun Crossing, but couldn't say if the water would be low enough. The ranger also reminded us that a significant downpour was expected over the coming days.
So my plan is to try and stay as close to that rock, see where it's breaking there, as I can.
Just watch that branch.
Yep.
Rocks in there?
The ascent out of the Dargo River towards Birregun Road was rated medium on HEMA, but was straightforward with good traction despite the rain overnight. After briefly heading south on Birregun Road, we took a left onto Murdering Spur Track, rated easy in HEMA, but it was mentioned that the track is seasonally closed during the wet season, as we would later find out for a good reason.
Pushing through. It's steep down here. It's like carrying bark. Tight and then wet and then a dip.
As the vegetation closed in, the track got steeper and slipperier.
It's coming up and it's quite big.
So this track was rated easy in HEMA, and I would not want to be driving up this. Doesn't really look steep on camera, but do you have to pick your line.
Here I had to hold a small tree out of the way before tackling a small river crossing.
Jesus Christ.
Like this.
Yeah, now back. So we need to come down here, and there's probably not enough clearance here to come down without the risk of tipping into there. So we're gonna ride this rut all the way through, which you can see is quite deep, and then we'll cross this river crossing. This way. Me with my noises.
Right, just stopped to get out to check out this. Oh, it doesn't look too bad.
Watch out for that side log.
Doesn't look like much of a lean that we're on, but we've just slid down this bit here. So it doesn't feel too good in the car. It doesn't look like anything on the camera.
At this stage, we thought it was a good idea to hook up the winch so that we could creep out of this situation without making it worse. This was by far the greatest angle we had experienced. Looking back, it probably would have been fine just to drive out, but stopping, analysing the situation and using max tracks gave us the best chance of making it out as a solo vehicle.
Doubles on this side. And yeah, you can see where we slid down.
Come from this side.
I don't know. Obviously I wasn't paying attention.
The dip is going to be a bit. You'll have to pull through that dirt. So, we got out. I think both of us felt pretty sick the whole time, especially knowing that we're a solo vehicle and we haven't seen anyone on this track. The camera doesn't show just how deep all of this is. Well, it didn't even get up to your balls here anyway.
Good on that, Rob.
Yeah.
It was at this point we continued on to find Cam's top place hut, where we were planning to stay and hunker down for the next 2 days of rain.
So if you were looking to visit the hut, there is this small camp, well it's not really small actually, it's a little campground not far from it. Somebody's left some firewood here. This is the hut that we were trying to get to. It's good that it's still here. It's just a little bit, it's seen better days. There is this fence around it. Obviously you're not supposed to go in there. Yeah, that looks pretty sketchy. There's also this old,
we can't go there, make sure you get a photo as well.
so this little fireplace, probably from an older building just nearby.
With the hut not being what we imagined and the track being so wet and boggy, we realised we needed to leave the valley as soon as possible as it was already 5 PM and the rain was beginning to set in. After looking at the map, we thought Dane's Track would be the quickest and easiest way to higher ground.
Alright, so this is just one section that you have to do from when we are to get to the hut. And of these two lines, That is extremely deep. I didn't even prod that one, but as you can see, it's pretty short. I reckon that's deep as well.
It wasn't long into the climb up Dane Track that we faced a situation, as Tasha refers to it. We drove until we lost traction and we were teetering on 3 wheels with a steep drop at the side of the track. This was the first time we had experienced this in our vehicle. Tasha jumped out to get some footage of where the car was at while I firmly held the brake pedal. From here we ended up using a combination of max tracks and winching to creep up the steep incline, which had already become quite slippery.
Caused the tippy at my front end and have gone up on that rock. That's quite lifted. Just trying to get out of this. I put the controller on my seat. Just trying to get out of this rut, which is slippy because it's wet and this steep hill. So we've run the winch up to a tree to pull us up. We've got to watch out for our diff on this rock.
This video definitely doesn't show how steep the track was or the camber of the track, which was tipping us towards the drop to our right. Even with the heart, we haven't hardly made any ground.
Just got to watch out for sneaky lumps on the side.
After resetting the winch twice, we made a little bit of progress before hitting some slippery clay in the dark. At this stage, the rain had been constant and this section was extremely slippery. Luckily, we had a winch extension which really helped us here. The ruts on the right were very deep and I was doing my best to avoid slipping down into them. Even walking to and from the winch point proved to be a challenge in the slick clay.
Tighten that winch. That's not. Do you need me to get out and see when to stop?
After this section, we managed to pick up some pace along the overgrown track. We eventually came across a steep climb that required a good amount of right foot. We could feel the car losing traction as it slipped up the track, but knew if we lost momentum it would be a nightmare to start moving again. Lifting off was not an option. Although it had been a longer day than expected, and we were keen to get off the track, we weren't taking any risks with these puddles, which looked daunting in the dark.
So I'm gonna have to go slow. Just watch out for those stumps.
Alright, so there's this massive bog hole here. Had a poke around and it is very deep, like I'm talking up to my hips over in there. So there's this little chicken track here. It's a bit hard to see, but you can just straddle the rut. I've had a bit of a poke around. Either side looks very shallow, firm base. Ooh.
dog grave hut. So lucky that we found this. We've had like a massive, that's getting smoky. Had a massive day with tracks and chaos on the tracks. And it's pouring with rain and forecast for possibly 20 mil tomorrow. So we're just in here trying to get some warmth.
40, up to 40.
Oh, 40 mil was it?
Yeah,
20 to 40.
20 to 40.
Okay. Amazing little place in here. Shelter is perfect. Hi. This is Dog's grave. We'll go over here. There's a little something for us to look at. Just walking around the puddles. Oh look. It's an actual dog, can you see it? Man's best friend. Boney. Buried here about 1863. So that must be the dog's grave.
From Dog's Grave we decided to head to Omeo and have some lunch. The road from the hut to Omeo was well maintained right through till we hit the bitumen.
Oh look! Snug as a bug motel. Oh, this looks cute. She's like, you guys are fucking idiots. You never let me walk anywhere. Just want to walk, guys.
We didn't stay long before we headed off for our next adventure in Victoria's high country, where we discover some iconic huts in the wilderness. Make sure to subscribe for part 3.